Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Whole Person Counseling 26 Essential Tools for 2026. Today, we're talking about stabilizing circadian rhythms to improve mental, emotional, and honestly, physical health using the acronym L.E.A.S.T. L-E.A.S.T. I'm your host, Dr. Dawn-Elise Snipes. Most people aren't just stressed. They're biologically out of sync. Our gut microbiome is on its own circadian rhythm. So certain microbes are present during the day, certain microbes at night. And when those workers are not showing up at the right time, you're not producing the right hormones and neurochemicals at the right time. Every single cell, as a matter of fact, in the human body has its own clock. And when those clocks get out of sync, the result is fatigue, systemic inflammation, depression, irritability, and cognitive slowing, cognitive decline, brain fog, whatever you want to call it. If you aren't addressing your circadian rhythms, you are trying to fix a body factory that's not staffed appropriately. As I mentioned earlier, every cell in your body has its own circadian clock. It has its own rhythm, knows when it's supposed to be there, whether it's night shift, day shift, or middle of the afternoon. Hormones and neurotransmitters are produced and released on a schedule. So when your body gets out of sync, those hormones like cortisol that peaks in the morning and declines through the evening, and melatonin, which peaks in the evening, just as an example, those get out of whack and you start having physical, mental, emotional symptoms. Disrupted circadian clocks add stress to the system. So think of your body like a factory and think of what the managers would be going through if their employees just showed up willy-nilly whenever they wanted. How effective would that be? How efficient would the factory be? How well would the product get produced? Probably not very well. And so what would happen to the supervisors? They'd start getting stressed. Your body's the same way. It registers it as a threat when your circadian clocks are out of alignment. When we're chronically stressed, it leads to inflammation, irritability, and brain fog, which obviously are stressful, which further increase stress and disrupt your circadian rhythms. So now you know kind of why you should do it. How do you do it? And I devised a mnemonic to help you get the basics down for stabilizing circadian rhythms. The first one is light. And light is so important. Bright light during the day, blue light during the day, to a certain extent. Too much blue light is bad, but have it bright during the day so your body knows, hey, it's time to wake up. Dim light and warm light in the evening. In our house, during the evening, we change the tone of our light bulbs to be somewhere in the 2000 to 2500 Kelvin range. It's pretty darn yellow. It's like candlelight versus the daytime when we have it around 4500 Kelvin to 5000 Kelvin, where it is much brighter, much more like daylight inside. That helps your brain, through the pineal gland, recognize when it's time to be awake and when it's time to be asleep. If you are a shift worker, do the best you can to artificially create that demarcation for your brain so it knows when it's supposed to be awake and asleep. The second thing in the L.E.A.S.T acronym is eating. Eating is what they call a Zeitgeber or a timekeeper. When we eat, it helps our body anchor our circadian rhythms, believe it or not. Therefore, your body will get used to eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or if you only eat 2 meals, eating those 2 meals at the same time each day. So it will secrete certain hormones and get ready to receive that food during those times of day. It helps the body clock stay anchored so it doesn't start running too fast or running too slow. Eating is huge. Activities, things that you do on a daily basis. Your body, your circadian rhythms love routines. If you are a spontaneous person, it doesn't mean your life has to be mundane. But it does mean you want to do roughly the same things prior to bed, have a sleep routine. Our kids, when they were little, they would come home from school, they would play for a while, they would eat dinner, take a bath, I'd read them a book, and then they'd go to bed. Their body knew what was coming. So as soon as they got finished with dinner, their body would actually start slowing down a little bit. They would know it was time to get into the bed or get into the bath. And then by the time I finished reading them their story, melatonin had fully kicked in, their internal melatonin, and they were ready for sleep. Maintaining a sleep routine is very, very helpful. What you're doing at night is also important. Activities that you're doing at night. If you're doing activities that are keeping you awake, maybe you've got friends over, well, your body is not going to let you downregulate and relax the same way it would if you're doing your normal sleep routine. Because when other people are around, except for the people we live with, our body tends to say, hey, we need to stay awake. S stands for stress. Try not to do anything that is going to trigger your stress response within 2 hours of bedtime. And that's a hard call for a lot of people, but if you can do it, it's super helpful. Stress spikes your cortisol. Cortisol prevents melatonin from being released. As long as cortisol is high, melatonin release is going to be kind of crappy. Reduce your stress. Don't pay bills right before bed. Don't have a discussion with somebody right before bed. Try to reserve that last 2 hours for things that are enjoyable, relaxing, or at least mundane. And temperature. Your body likes to hibernate in the cold. You're going to sleep better when it's cold. So when the temperature cools, your body recognizes that as a time to sleep. Just like when the light is dim, your body recognizes that as a time to sleep. Encouraging yourself to get to sleep is important. You can take a warm shower or a warm bath before bed if that's what you like to do, but try to do it at least 45 minutes before bedtime, and then your body will cool off before it's time to actually go to sleep. To summarize, the acronym L.E.A.S.T will help you stabilize your circadian rhythms. Light in the morning, bright light in the evening, dim, warm, yellow light. Eating at the same time each day. Activities, develop a sleep routine. Stress, minimize it 2 hours before bed. And temperature, keep it cool when you're trying to sleep and warmer during the day. Circadian rhythms help regulate sleep, but poor sleep hygiene will sabotage your progress every time. They're not the same thing. Circadian rhythms regulate every hormone, every cell in your body. Sleep regulates sleep. Next video, we're going to talk about sleep stabilization tools to improve clinical outcomes. And guess what? There's another acronym coming with that too.